Okay, let's just jump right in. We're about to look at a huge, huge shift in how stories get made, and maybe more importantly, how they're owned. This isn't just about AI writing another book. This is about AI taking the classics we all know and turning them into brand new assets that someone can own.
So let me just start with this question. It's kind of wild. What if you could take a story like Frankenstein or Sherlock Holmes, a story that belongs to everyone, and create a new version that belongs only to you? A version you could slap a copyright on, license out, and maybe even turn into a whole franchise. Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, it's happening right now.
And the whole foundation for this is something called the public domain. The easiest way to think about it is like a giant shared cultural library. It's filled with stories where the copyright has expired, so they're totally free for anyone to use. But here's the thing. While you could always make your own version, it's been almost impossible to claim exclusive ownership. They belong to all of us.
What if you looked at that shared library and didn't just see a cultural resource? What if you saw a gold mine of untapped intellectual property? Well, a new company is doing exactly that, and they've built a pretty powerful tool to start digging.
So picture this. The date is November 7th, 2025. A company called Harmin Books makes an announcement that really has the potential to shake up the entire publishing industry. They unveil a feature that's designed to turn all that public domain gold.
The tool itself is called Story Adaptation, and its purpose is incredibly ambitious. It uses AI to help creators take those public domain works and transform them into something completely original. And, this is the most important part, something that's actually copyrightable.
The way they frame this is just fascinating. Just look at this quote from Riku Tanaka. They say the goal is to build their own intellectual property, not just recycle old ideas. That's a very deliberate choice of words, isn't it? It's a shift from just adapting something to truly owning it.
So this is the crucial question, right? How does this thing actually work? How do you take a story that was written over 100 years ago and, with the help of an AI, make it legally yours today? Well, let's walk through the process. First, the AI helps you rewrite the core story. Imagine taking Moby Dick, but setting it in deep space. Then second, you expand it. You add totally original lore, new characters, new dialogue that never existed before. Third, the tool actually generates the manuscripts for you. Ebook, print, audiobook, the whole deal. And then finally, and this is the real kicker, the system is designed to make sure the final product is original enough to get its very own copyright. It becomes a new, legally distinct, ownable asset.
This slide really just lays out the whole transformation. On the left, you've got the before, a public domain story. It's a shared cultural work, free for everyone. On the right, you've got the after, an original piece of intellectual property that you control. The AI tool is basically the bridge that takes you from the public commons to a private, monetizable asset.
Now, you really got to pay attention to this quote from Kevin Rivers. He's the CEO of Harmin's parent company. And notice he talks about turning a single story into a global franchise. That's the tell. This story adaptation tool isn't the end game, it's just step one in a much, much bigger machine.
And that brings us to the bigger picture here. This whole thing isn't just about publishing a single book. Nope. It's the front door to a carefully designed ecosystem built for one thing: creating and controlling franchises. You see, it turns out Harmin Books is just one piece of the puzzle. It's owned by this parent company called Global Media Bank, or GMB, and they call themselves a next-generation media tech publisher. That says it all. They're not just selling books, they're building an entire assembly line for intellectual property. And here's how that ecosystem is structured. A creator uses Harmin Books to generate their new, copyrighted story. That's step one. Then, GMB Music can step in and create and license a whole soundtrack for it. And then, GMB Entertainment can adapt that book and music into, say, an AI-driven audio drama. It's a perfectly seamless, vertically integrated pipeline designed to turn one idea into a multi-format media property. So let's just recap what's really going on here. A creator starts with a public domain work, and with an AI as their partner, they transform it into new, ownable IP. This whole system creates a direct pipeline from that first spark of an idea all the way to a full-blown media franchise. The author isn't just a writer anymore, they're an IP creator. And the line between adapting an old story and creating a new one gets incredibly blurry.
And this all leads us to a much bigger conversation, one about the very future of ownership. When a machine is this deeply woven into the creative process, who really owns the final product? And what does that mean for the future of storytelling?
This is the fundamental question this whole system leaves us with. When AI becomes a creative partner that's this powerful, capable of making the old legally new, where do we draw the line? Where does adaptation end, and where does true creation actually begin? It's a question we're all going to be grappling with for years to come.